Hi friends, how are you? Yes, nowadays we are suffering uh, about the novel coronavirus, such a crucial situations now this time. What we do, we are alert about this COVID-19 disease, and we will awareness about this novel coronavirus. Okay, what we do is stay home and safe. That is the first step. And use face masks when you are getting out from home, and using sanitizers, hand sanitizer. This sanitizer is very useful to just you select the branded hand sanitizers only. In market, more than duplicate hand sanitizer hand washes are available. Okay, you just think and look to buy this type of hand sanitizer. Okay, and keep social distancing. That's the main. That means the virus transmitted from the body fluids like saliva and some coughing, sneezing thing. That is fluid. That fluid is transported that disease. So using face mask. Okay, and wash your hands properly using soap water. Okay, and we are bothered about health. Uh, we are controlled by the government. We are first obey the rules, COVID-19 rules by the government. So we will throw the COVID-19 as soon as possible. Okay, so we are joining together and we are coordinating together for removing this dangerous situation in our universe and our world. So don't worry, be safe, you are on. That's a very important step. Okay, okay. In previous class, we are discussing about the reproduction. The chapter's name is how do organisms reproduce. The more methods, reproducing methods are we have discussed, already discussed. Then the first is asexual reproduction methods. We have already learned now this class, not recollecting this way. And the last one is the last part of that class is reproduction. Reproduction, that means sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction in plants. That's the last point of previous class. Okay, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Okay, the heading is sexual reproduction. The first is reproduction of flowering plants. Flowering plants is scientifically commonly known as angiosperms. Angiosperms. The flowering plants scientifically commonly known as angiosperm, and we will discuss the flowering plants reproductive parts. The flower is the reproductive part of the plant. The male reproductive part is stamens That formed the part of this stamen, the male reproductive system consisting andrecium, and the female reproductive system consists of the gynoecium. That is the gynoecium. Gynoecium is the female part and andrecium is the male part. Andrecium produces the male organs, male gametes, produce male gametes, that is stamens, and female is produce ovules, that means ovum. Okay, you already discussed that. Some of the flower have the number of stamens and gynoecium is vary. But now this class is not in this that contact with me. It is not contacting that type of topic. So the flowering plant, the cut of flowering plants. Look at the morphology of flowering plants. Look at the morphological structure of flowering plants. Look. This is the morphological structure of flowering plant. A typical flower. We are using a typical flower for studying the reproduction of flowering plants. The typical flower is hibiscus. Hibiscus rosea sinensis. That's the scientific name. Hibiscus. 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 For what? We are using the word. Majority are using studying for the sexual reproduction of flowering plants using the typical flower that is hibiscus. For what? For what is the purpose? What is it? Yes, this is a typical flower. We can see the calyx corolla. We can see differentially. We can see the calyx and corolla, and the stamens. There is the andrecium and the gynoecium. These are morphological characters. Is the structure of stamens. This is stamen. The andrecium, that is andrecium, that is the anther. The structure of anther is a filament and one is the anther stripe. This is sac-like structure, box-like structure. That is sporangium, commonly known as sporangium. And this, the next is the internal structure. Internal structure. Look at the internal structure. Look. Mainly three parts. This is stigma. This is style. This is ovary. Stigma, style, ovary. We are already knowing about this. Okay. In this plants, in this flower, in flowering plants, the anther have filament and a sporangia-like structure. This anther, this filament and anther. Within the anther, produce the male reproductive organs, male reproductive structures, that is known as stamens. In this stamens is also known as pollen grains. Is a male reproductive structure. Male gamete. Male gamete are pollen grains or stamens. Okay. Female reproductive gametes. Ovule. Ovule. That is female gamete. The fusion of male and female gametes. The fusion of male and female gametes is called as fertilization. 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 The fusion of male and female gametes. That is fertilization. Okay. Before that, when the fusion, the fertilization is done. Look, in this flower, the anther produce pollen grains. The pollen grains attach to the stigma of the flowering plant. Pollen grains attach to the stigma of the flowering plant. Stigma. Pollen grains attach to the stigma of the flowering plants. That process, when a pollen grain, the male reproductive gametes, pollen grains are transmitted towards where stigma of the flower. Stigma of the flower. That is called pollination. Pollination means what? The pollen grains is attached to the stigma of the flower. That process is called as pollination. Pollinations are mainly two types. Two types of pollinations are here. Two types of pollinations are here. That is self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination and cross-pollination. There are two types of pollinations are here. Self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination means when a pollen grains attach to the stigma, that the process will done within same flower. Within the same flower. In same flower, the pollen grains attached to the stigma within the same flower. Look, same flower. Don't confuse. The pollinating part, the pollen grains, the male reproductive gametes, the stamens are attached to stigma of the flowering plant, stigma of the flower. Okay, that is done to a single flower. That is a same flower, that is done into same flower. That is known as self-pollination. That is known as self-pollination. Self-pollination means transfer to pollen grains. Transfer of the pollen grains to same flower stigma. That is called as self-pollination. The next is cross-pollination. Transfer of pollen grains to the stigma of the flower, another plant. Okay, transfer of pollen grains to the stigma of the flower will be another plant, another flower. Okay, that means the pollen grains is in, look at that, A is the plant and B is the plant. A is the plant, one of the plant is named as A and one next is the B plant. Within the A, the pollen grains transfer of another plant B, that is cross pollination. Sometimes pollen grains arise A and attach towards the A, that is self pollination. These are the main differences of self pollination and cross pollination. Okay, then next is, look at this chart. Look, pollen, gland, stigma. Pollen, gland, stigma. Look, it's here. Look at that. Pollen, glands, germ cells. What is the female germ cells? That is female germ cells are ovules. Okay, and then next the pollen grains stigma. Pollen is attached to stigma. Then female germs, the connecting with female germ cells with using germination of pollen tubes. Germination of pollen tubes. The growing out of the part of the pollen grains, that is the pollen tube. And this pollen grains is attached to stigma. Look at that, stigma attached to the stigma of the flowering plant, and a pollen tube will develop and traveling towards to the style, and finally reach the ovary. Okay, then look at that is the first step is pollination. Then second is pollen tube germination, and the third one is fertilization. Look at it. Pollination, pollination means what? The transfer of pollen grains towards the stigma of the flower. That is known as pollination. The second is germination. Germination of what? Germination of pollen tubes. Then last, fertilization. Fertilization. The last is fertilization. Okay. So please look at the three steps: pollination, germination, fertilization. Pollination means production of pollen grains. That means the pollen grains will attach towards the stigma of the flower. That process is known as pollination. After pollination, the pollen tube will grows out to the pollen grains. That is known as germination. And the last, fertilization. The pollen grains, the pollen tube under the pollen tube gametes, male gametes, is connecting contact with the ovules of the ovary. That is known as the fertilization. That is known as the fertilization. And then look. After fertilization, the topic is after fertilization. After fertilization, zygote will form. That means, look at that, fertilization means male gametes. That means pollen grains. Is connected with female gametes. That is ovule. This is known as fertilization. Then, after this fertilization to go, produce zygote. Then zygote undergo some divisions. Zygote undergoes some division to form embryo. Zygote undergo continuous division and form an embryo. Okay. In this embryo, the ovule develops. The ovule is developed into seed. Ovule developed into seed. Ovule is developed into seed. And ovary rapidly to differentiation and divisions are takes place, and then ovary will lead to the form of fruit. Ovule to seed and ovary to become fruit. That is the main points of fertilization. Okay. And then in this seed will undergo some divisions that takes place. That divisions, after this division takes place. After the divisions, then seed will getting division to getting root system and seed system. Look, that is seed. The example for a seed. Within the seed, that division is possible within the seed, then germinating the aerial part. Germinating this one. This is shoot system. And this is a root system. Shoot system and a root system. So look at that. In this seed is undergo division and form a new plant. That process is known as germination. Germination. Yes, we are just recollecting this topic again. The reproductive part of the flowering plant, that is main part is stamens. Stamens have filament and anther have meiotically divided to pollen grains. That is the male reproductive organ. Look, this male reproductive. Stanley, look at that. The main point is the male gametes, the pollen grains. The male gametes, the pollen grains are haploid in nature. That is haploid in nature. And the female ovule, that is another haploid in nature. Okay, another one haploid. Look, after fertilization means the important is fertilization. The main point is fertilization. Fertilization means what? The joining of male gametes and female gametes. In this case, the flowering plants have the male gametes are pollen grains. These are haploidic in nature and is connected in contact with this female gametes, that's ovule from the ovary. That is another haploid in nature. In this male gametes and female gametes, the pollen grains and ovules are rejoining. The process is called as fertilization. After fertilization, after fertilization, this converted into zygote. Then forming the zygote is the diploid form, and embryo is the diploid form. After this, all the individuals, all the materials, all the parts, were diploidic nature. So after fertilization, zygote is formed. So after fertilization, zygote, diploidic zygote formed, and then zygote undergo meiotic divisions. Some divisions takes place, and then zygote will form embryo, that is another diploidic one, embryo forms. And within the embryo, and the embryo is collecting within the embryo. The part is, first one is the seed part. The embryo is undergo divisions and to converted into seed, and the ovule part, the ovary part is converted into fruit. Okay, the ovule is converted into seed. That seed is covered with a fleshy apparatus, a covering apparatus, that is known as the fruit. That fruit is arised from the ovary. The fruits from the ovary. Then, in this time, the seed is undergo continuous divisions. The seed is undergo continuous divisions. And that division leads to a shoot system and a root system. That shoot and root system, that process, a seed is germinating shoot system and root system. The seed is germinating and dividing into shoot and root system. That process is known as the germination. That is known as the germination. Okay, and then this is the sexual reproduction in flower plants. Okay, just I will give you some questions about this area. Just look. What is pollination? First question. What is pollination? Pollination means the pollen grains, the transfer of the pollen grains from anther to the stigma. From anther to the stigma. Okay, what is pollination? Okay, that pollination means the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma. That is known as the pollination. Okay. The second question. What is fertilization? What is fertilization? Fertilization means the joining of pollen grains and ovule. The male and female gametes, the fusion of male and female gametes. Look, the answer is not clear, but elaborately we are saying the haploid male reproductive structure. The haploid pollen grains is fused with haploid female structure, that is ovule. That is known as the fertilization. Okay. Then what happened after fertilization? The third question is what happened after fertilization? What happened after fertilization? After fertilization, zygote is formed. Zygote is a diploidic one, 2N. That is diploid, zygote. Then meiotic division is undergone in this zygote, and zygote is converted into embryo. Embryo is another diploid one, and within the embryo they develop into seed, and the ovary is developed into the fruit. That fruit is covered the seed. that seed will germinating to other plant. That process is known as the germination. That is the germination, the shoot system, germinating the shoot system and the root system. These are the main three questions. Okay, and in this, the pollination may take two steps. First is pollination is the transfer of the pollen grains, and the second is pollen tube is developed, and the third process is the fertilization. And the fourth process is the zygote formation, and 5 is the embryonic development. This is the step. Look, first is the germination of the germ cells. The germ cells are the male reproductive part of the flowering plants. The male reproductive part, that is the anther. Anther is the male reproductive part. Anther produced the structure of anther. The two parts of the anther here. One is the filament, and the second part is anther. The anther. The structure is written that the filament is this and the anther is. The anther is in sac-like structure. Sac-like structure. That is other known as sporangia. Sporangia means the spores containing package. Spores containing sac-like structure. That is sporangia. This is male sporangia, because the anther is the male reproductive part of the flowering plant. This is the sporangia. Within the sporangia, the sporangium, pollen grains are here. That is the diploid pollen grains. Diploid pollen grains. This is the introduction to the flowering plants reproduction. Okay. I think you just write these questions, 3 questions. What is the pollination? We will discuss about the question and answer also. What is the fertilization and what happened after fertilization? 3 questions. You must write this question and answer it. And you must read your textbook carefully. And okay, thank you for cooperating with me. And see you tomorrow. Be safe at home. Bye.